Hi, welcome back. So in this class, we are going to discuss about how to install Artifactory, how to install Tomcat, how to deploy the DevOps via created application to web application server. So Artifactory integration, we will see it in next class. And for this installation alone, we will continue as part of this class. So in previous sessions, we have discussed about what is DevOps, why we need DevOps, what is pipeline, and how to create a custom pipeline, how to understand the tools. And last few classes, we have extensively started discussing on hands-on, how to install Jenkins, how to create a custom build, right? So as I stated a couple of times, we have created our GitHub ID Cloud and Loud. For this DevOps tools training, you stick with DevOps underscore tools underscore training repository. For this class, there is a folder called class 8. Let's go inside. Before going inside, you need to have a couple of prerequisites. Okay. As part of class 6 and class 7, we have created this machine, Jenkins machine, either one CPU, minimum 4 GB memory, and we have installed Jenkins. So if you have that machine, you keep it, or you make sure you have installed everything and tested with one custom build. This machines, either you can create in Google Cloud or in any other cloud, Azure Cloud or AWS Cloud, or your laptop is having a good configuration, high end, then you can even create the VMs in laptop itself. But for this exercise, all we need is we need one Jenkins machine, one CPU, 4 GB memory, and there is another machine, 2 CPU, minimum 2 CPU, and minimum 7.5 GB memory for Tomcat and Artifactory. You can install with CentOS 7 in this machine also to make sure we are going with almost equivalent to production. So if you have this, then we can proceed with this lab. So since we need one more machine, I'm going to create one more machine. I'm going to keep the existing Jenkins machine as it is. So let's create one more machine. Say create instance. I have a Google Cloud, so I'm creating another machine. This machine is going to be used by Tomcat and Artifactory. So let's wait for a few seconds. So once the machine is created, I'm going to name it as Tomcat. But this machine, we are also going to install Artifactory. Come down. As I said, we need minimum 2 CPU, 4.5 GB memory. So I'm going with the custom. So 7.5 GB memory minimum should be there. So come down. The OS is going to be CentOS and CentOS 7. The disk size also you can go with minimum 40 GB or whatever, but it's not, because we are not going to load more data. So come down. I'm going to allow all, because as part of learning, it's better. In production, you can allow only what is really needed. So the Tomcat server is about to start with OS. So let's wait for a few seconds. So the Tomcat machine also got created and it's up and running. So we will log in first and see how to start configure it. So I'm going first Jenkins machine, as well as I'm just clicking the Tomcat machine. So both SSH. If you have a putty, you can take it, but Google Cloud directly we can log in via the browser itself. So let's wait. I'm going back to the step. So as part of this, what all we are going to discuss. First, we are going to install prerequisites package for Tomcat and Artifactory. And we are going to configure the environment variables, and we are going to configure Artifactory and Tomcat software repository, because the Linux machine doesn't know where to download the software and install it, right? And install Artifactory and change the Java heap size and install Tomcat. And again, you need to make sure the relevant memory minimum and maximum, and configure Tomcat user settings and restart it. In case because you are installing Tomcat as well as Artifactory. In case in your production or your requirement is going to be used different port number, by default Tomcat will have 8080, but if you want different port number, how to do that? And create a first pipeline, do a manual deployment. Okay, so you know the manual car driving. Then once you got the confident on manual car driving, then go for automatic, right? So this is what we are going to discuss in this class. Let's go inside. Let's check the machines are logged in. Yes. So I am switching over to root, and also I'm switching over to root, and we are going to access the Jenkins. This is the Jenkins. So let's check the IP address. This is the previous class IP address, session, whatever we configured, the same. So before starting this, you can, if you want, you can go to previous pipeline and make sure the Jenkins server is working condition. So say build now, the pipeline which we created in the last class. So far, so good. There is no error. So it's trying to download from Maven demo, the test Java application, sample application, come down. So it's getting compiled and build. Finally, we are going to get the WAR file because it's a very small application, web application. So if you get this without any error, that means we are good to go as part of this. Yes, success, right? This you need to ensure. Now, what we are doing is we are going back to the step and first install prerequisite software. What is the machine? This is the machine, Tomcat machine. And come down. I'm going to first install all these prerequisites packages. Let's maximize it. So we are installing the prerequisites packages, and then I'm stopping the firewall D because normally during the learning, go with less restriction. So the prerequisites once it's installed, and then we are going to do one by one exactly mentioned in this command GitHub. So Java is getting installed. Yes. So now we are going to stop the firewall and disabling the firewall ID, and also we are going to make sure the time synchronized. This is very important. Even if it is a production server, definitely your production environment will have common NTP server. Better you sync with that server before you start anything, right? So now I am going to download the Maven because Maven is the build tool. It's a safer side. Maven also should be the same version what you installed and configured in Jenkins. So we are extracting it, and then we are going for configuring under user local. This is just to make sure according to the environment variables, we are facilitating the environment. And second step is you need to configure the environment variables, because now if you run any commands, it will not work. So if you want global, then check it out in the etc profile, but I am doing in my profile. So login, so bash_profile, copy this, come down. Before export path, you need to say insert and paste it, right? And colon, write and quit, WQ. I don't want to log off and log in. So what I'm doing is source inside vim bash_profile. So if you want, you can verify environment. So it got loaded. The moment you say source, normally whenever you log off and log in, it will load. But I don't want to log off and log in. So it's simple, you run the source. Now it exported. Now if you do a Java version and or MEN-version, the commands will work because everything is in now proper environment variables. Now come down. We are going to first configure Artifactory and Tomcat software repository. So this is the command. If you want, you can go here. You can or you can configure this, go to that repo file, and then you can get the cat/etc m.repos.d. okay, and then you can, so this is the URL. So https jfrog-binary.com artifactory RPMs. So go here and you can say, go here, and so you can find out what is basically they are redirecting to one null, but that RPM will know what is that. So go here. What is the next step? We are going to install. See, there is a two-way. We are installing open source. So let's find, because for learning we are going to install open source JFrog Artifactory. Go here and say Artifactory. So the repository is getting initialized, and we are going to get downloaded from that repository and install it. So it is asking. So it is coming from this repository. Yes, I need to install. Somewhat this software is it's a bigger size, 367 MB. So it's downloaded and it is getting installed. So once this Artifactory software is installed, right? So then what we are going to do is we are going to see Java heap size. What is the Java heap size, right? So whenever you run any application, you need to decide. Say, for example, this is your Linux machine. This Linux machine is having 16 GB, right? So if you go to your base OS, Linux or whatever OS you have, you check the how much total memory, 16 GB. Maybe it will come down nearly 16 GB, right? So for this, I need to have some control. Maybe I have application 1, application 2, application 3, right? This product I'm specifically want to assign only 4 GB, right? More than that, I should not allow, right? So this is the Java process. So I need to make sure the particular Java process should go minimum memory and maximum memory. That is exactly we are going to check. What is that file? So copy this. Okay, go. We are not going to change anything. We are going to leave it. But if you want, sometimes some of the application which you are going to deploy, this application code requires minimum 8 GB, right? Sometimes minimum 128 GB. It depends on the criticality of the application, weight of the application, right? So go and open so that you will understand the easiest way. So come down. I'm going to show you. See here. So you can allocate this process how much you want. So for this default settings, minimum 512 MB to minimum 512 MB and maximum 2 GB. See here. Okay, so this is how you need to manipulate. But as of now, we are going with this because we have 7.6 GB memory for this server, and we are not going to give any load. So 2 GB is more than enough. So I'm going to just come out without any changes. Okay, next, install Tomcat. So Tomcat, we are going to install. Tomcat is the web application server. So once we got the WAR file cleared, so I'm going back here. See here. So there is a WAR file, right? WAR means what? Web archive. So this file I need to deploy because I cannot use this file. This file is the packaged application, but this packaged application I need to deploy it somewhere. As a web application, I can access it from anywhere. So to deploy, I need some web application server. So Tomcat is the web application server which we are going to use it. So go here. So I'm going to install Tomcat web application server. So once it's installed, okay, now we are going back to the next step. What is the next step? Configure web application process, the same. In there also, we are checking the Artifactory minimum and maximum. But here also, Tomcat related, you are defining it. Otherwise, the machine will not have any control. So you need to have each and every product process. You need to make sure everything is fine. So here there is a no Java heap size. So what we are going to do is we are going to place somewhere here, copy this Java options. Okay, so we are going to make sure the settings are in place. So I'm just copy paste here, say 512 MB RAM. Okay, and there is a garbage collection also we have enabled. So let's check. I'm going to save it. So now everything is fine. The one more settings we need to do is Tomcat users.xml. Okay, so let's go there. I will tell you what is that. Come down. This same settings only I copy pasted, but there is a commented out. Sometimes if you are a administrator, Unix administrator, people are not from the development background, they really getting confused, because if you are an administrator, hash is the comment out, but this also one of the way to comment the entire line. So in order to not to go for more confusion, I just copied the same line. I removed the comment. Exactly this is what I pasted here. So either you can go and remove each and every line, or the same lines only I copied pasted here. Copy this, but only one thing you need to understand is you should not paste after this Tomcat user. You should paste before Tomcat user. But if you are very good to remove this, if you are very good in VA editor, then of course the same lines you can remove each line, comment out starting and ending point. Otherwise you can simply copy from the GitHub, right? So here also you can change it. Username is admin, password is admin. If you want different password, you can put it here, right? But please make sure whatever you are pasting, it should be before this line, right? People are often making mistake like this. So I'm saving, write and quit. Okay, now what is that? So we are going to restart the Artifactory, and persistently across reboot we are enabling it, and the same Tomcat. So Tomcat and Artifactory, we are going to restart the services and persistent the services across reboots. So let's wait. Sometimes people will get the error, which means your machine capacity, minimum CPU, minimum number of RAM, it's not sufficient. So don't panic. If you get an error, please make sure you have adequate RAM in that machine. The error will happen only if you have very less RAM in your VM, which you are trying to install Tomcat and Artifactory. Wait for a few seconds. And then once we got this, then what is the IP address? Let's go back to the VM. And what is the IP address? 34.67.104.209. Copy this IP address, right? So go here, paste it, :8080, because Tomcat default port is 80. Just wait. Let's confirm the services. Yes. Now enter it. See, you got the Apache Tomcat installed and up and running. If you want, you can go with manager app. What is the username password you given in the file? You given username is admin, password is admin, right? If you forgot, don't worry. This file you can, but in production we will go with we will not go with the plain password. There is a certificate way of key. You can mention it instead of the plain password. So go here, admin, because whatever password we given, the same password. Now you got the web application manager. You remember last class we have deployed manually through this console. Now the scenario is like this. I have Jenkins machine. This is separate Linux machine, say 1. There is another Linux machine. Okay, this is the Tomcat machine, say machine 2, right? So now the code is here, GitHub somewhere. The developer is pushing into the SCM, source code management repository. For our case, we went with GitHub. So now this Jenkins CI, we have configured to, we have instructed to monitor. Hey, can you monitor? Now I'm going, there is no change. Now I'm going, there is no change. Now I'm going, there is no change. But now I am again monitoring, there is a change. So immediately I'm taking this code, compile it using Maven, build it using Maven. I am creating the application packaging war file. So now I cannot do anything because it's an application package. But this war file, I need to deploy it, right? So this entire pipeline, I'm going to automate it, right? So this is what we are going to do it. So first we will go with the manual way of deployment so that you know what is the manual car driving. Then we will go with automatic car driving, right? So go here, come down. So Artifactory, we will see it in the next class with the detailed how to integrate. Now we will go with only Tomcat and deployments, right? So one more thing we want to discuss is, suppose Tomcat port, you want to change it. So go to this file in the Tomcat where you install. In this, search 8080. So in the port you can go for, in this you can say listen, different port will take care of the custom port. By default, there is a 8080 port. There is another way. During the deep dive, I will explain you. And going further, okay, create a new pipeline. So I don't want to disturb the existing pipeline because people have to the more you configure pipeline, the more you will be very confident. So I'm going the new item, say manual deployment, manual hyphen deployment, and say Maven project, say okay. So the moment I went here, you need the sample code. So I'm copying this, I'm going here, come down. Yes, source code management is JIT. I'm going to say this is the URL, come down, pom.xml, automatically pick it up, come down. So here I'm going to say I want to deploy. Up to this we have seen. If I save, what will happen? Whenever I trigger deploy, build, the Jenkins will go here, pick up the code, raw code, source code, and come down, and with the help of the pom.xml, okay, automatically it will start compile, build, and create a war file. Now we need more than this, right? Click this and deploy var ER to a container, right? So go back to the step in last class, that is a previous class. You remember during the Jenkins installation, go to the class 6. As part of Jenkins installation, you remember there is a 4 plugins mandatory we have installed. If you have an intention to deploy, then come down, there is a deploy to container, right? But you need to decide in which project. Say for example, you have a WebLogic, then accordingly this plugin has to be different. You have a different web application server, so you need to decide what kind of a plugin you need to make sure. But this plugin will serve most of the functionalities, most of the software tools. Come down, let's show here deploy var to ER container. See here, automatically you got some section, right? So here click this, see this plugin itself compatible for Glassfish web application server, JBoss web application server, Tomcat web application server. These 3 you can stay with the same plugin what we install, right? So var ER file, Okay. Here you need to have always some confusion. Don't worry. Click this question mark. Always try to learn from the help, right? Click this. So it's clearly saying I need war file. Suppose if your application, Java application is creating .er file after compile build, then you need to make sure er file. The reason is instead of there will be a lot of files, but I don't need any file. I need only, say for example, you go here in this itself. Say for example, I have 3 files, but I don't want 3 files. I want only this file alone, because this file only I need to deploy it, right? So in this case, you need to minimize the search functionalities to save a lot of time, improve the lot of performance. So this syntax, you no need to worry. Click the help button and you will get this options. Simply copy paste, right? Come down. What is the version of Tomcat we have? Click this Tomcat version 7. How to decide this? Go here. So in this case, if you go the home page, you get this is the version. So major version is 7, right? So accordingly, I'm going to select 7. But this Jenkins, as I said, this Jenkins, this is the source code management, SCM, GitHub. This is the Jenkins, right? So this is the public repository. So that I haven't given any password, username, password. So it will directly go and pick it up. If it is a private repository, of course, we need to give the password, right? So from this, fine. But from here, I need to log into Tomcat. What is the username, password? Admin, correct? Then only I can able to deploy. Who I am? I am a Jenkins, right? So the Jenkins should know what is the username, password. As I said in the first few classes, it is automation, but as a human being, I have to give all the inputs. So if you know all the step, all the order wise, and each parameter, first key in everything. Apart from this, Jenkins will take care, because you given everything, all the information. First, what need to do? Second, what need to do? Third, what need to do? What is the username, password? Everything you given. Then from that second onwards, Jenkins will take care, because Jenkins is the crucial manager. So he will torture everyone because you already given the parameters, right? So you think about Jenkins is the typical project manager who will, hey, you did it, okay, you completed, then next to start, you completed, next to start. So we are going to say add Jenkins and username, password. Username is admin, password is admin. This is the username, password. But to make sure, there are a lot of passwords you will key in. So make sure this is, what is the IP address of this machine? Say for example, this is the machine, but you know some name of this machine, you key in, say production server Tomcat. Okay, like this. So I will tell you what is the purpose of giving like this. Say add. So if you give like this with very detailed, if you click this, even if you added multiple web application server for each and every environment, you can easily select, because I know this pipeline, whatever I'm creating, this pipeline, manual deployment, this pipeline is, I am related to development environment, or staging environment, or UAT environment, or pre-prod environment, or production environment. So you know for this environment what is the Tomcat, this environment what is the Tomcat. So you need to be always careful while creating a pipeline. So we are creating now with the GUI to make sure you are first getting inside. Later stage we will see it in the code via pipeline how to create, because to start with, if I explain code base, then definitely people will not be interested. Most of the people now they fear on the code. But of course, hereafter, we have to go with the code. Code is really easy. We'll discuss in later. Come down. So I am selecting this. Now, what Tomcat server URL? You should give only this, not this. You should not give this URL. You should give only up to 8080 because you already selected Tomcat. So the Jenkins knows, apart from this, Jenkins knows to add /manager, right? That is why the password, right? Come down, deploy on failures. You need to get a notification. So later we will see in detail. So as of now, I will say save it. Okay. Now I will go here, configure. I will walk through what is the pipeline. So this is the pipeline. Pipeline name is manual-deployment. And this pipeline will make sure what will happen. Come down, GitHub, take this code, come down. If it is a private, then you need to add similar way. See here, if I select this, then this username password will not work out because this is different, right? So that is why I asked you to give a proper naming convention. Okay, so take this code, come down, master repository. If you have multiple branches in the GitHub SEM, then you need to specify according to this pipeline, where should I focus? Which branch I need to focus, correct? So take this, come down. So here say pom.xml, right? We will explain what is pom.xml, what is build.xml, okay, and Gradle. Come down. So email notification also, we will see it later point. So now I want you going to take the code, compile the code, build the code, and you are creating a lot of files. But I need to pick up the war file only. Take it and connect this machine using this password. Connect this machine using this password. Go to the manager portal and then deploy the picked up war file to here, right? So the moment it deployed, I can access it from anywhere because it's running as a web application. www.iccibank.com, www.citibank.com. So I have created as a code, and then I have compiled it, and then I have built it. I have created the war file. Then the war file deployed into WebLogic or WebSphere or JBoss or Glassfish or Tomcat to make sure everyone is accessing the web application. So clear it out, say save it. Now we will go and trigger the build now. Again, I'm saying this is the manual way, but we are not interested to manual way. But always you have to go with manual card driving before automation. So click this to trigger manually. Okay, say build now. Come down. So click immediately, you know what is happening. The same output, it is picking up from the code. It is picking up from the code and compiling it and building it. War file will be created, and then let's go quickly bottom of this. Say for example, you keep on watching. Once it's created war file, and also you make sure there is no game of life here, the Tomcat server which we installed. So come here, see here, there is a war file is getting created. Till now we have seen this step only, but we have added one more condition, one more step. After created war file, connect to the Tomcat server and deploy it. So deploying also success. See here, deploying. See here, deploying, right? Let us check. Go here, refresh it. See here, game of life is there. So right click, go here. So hereafter, if you access, okay, there is some test application. So normally this will work. Game of life. So index .jsp. So I will just commit it later, this application. So this application should work. It's working. Actually, there is some small issue, so I will correct it later. So now you have deployed this application, right? So this application normally will work. So we'll do one thing. I have an old code. We will give that in the pipeline so that we will make sure. Go to configure it. So the same code, instead of this, we can go with, say here, /maven_demo1. So this code is somewhat old one. So we will check it out. Instead of this, you can give and say build now. So now it will pick up from the different source code management repository. So we will just say undeploy so that it will take out from the new deployment. Let's refresh it. Yes. So go here, say now we will just say reload. Say list application. Let's go and delete this. Okay, manager app. Say build now. So let's refresh it. So game of life, right click it. So go here. So yeah, it's working. So recently there is some changes in the master repository, maybe the bug. So now it's working. So now if you share this with a proper domain name assignment, then people can access this application from anywhere, right? So this is the manual way of deployment, right? So now we no need manual way, right? Go here and say configure it. We need to make sure whatever happened now, it has to happen automatically. There is a poll SCM. Click the polling. Okay, if you don't understand what is poll SCM, poll source code management, what is poll? Okay, if you go to any load balancer, there is a keep alive, right? Hey, are you alive? Are you alive? Are you alive? Right? Keep alive signal keep on will ask. The same way, polling, if you enable, you need to mention what is the duration. It's similar like a cron job, right? So you need to define here. During this interval, the Jenkins will automatically go and see what is the interval. Is there any changes happen? Is there any changes happen? Right? So as of now, what I did is, what I'm going to do is minute, hour, date of month and date of the day of the week. I'm going to say, because it's a learning purpose. So star, 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 star. So 5 parameter, 5 star. That means every minute, every time it will go and check, say save. Okay. So the moment you go and change the repository, right, automatically the trigger should happen, right? So go to configure it. Since we have changed the cloud on loud, the Maven, let's go back to the Cloud and Loud. Cloud and Loud / Maven _ demo. Click, take this, go to your this thing and say save it. What is the error? Let's check. Everything is fine. Okay, so sorry, there is a typo mistake. Cloud and Loud. Yes, so say save. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to say Cloud en Loud. You have to be owner of this repository. Now what we are going to do is I'm going to show you how much build 3 build, right? We have enabled Paul SCM, polling source code management. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just create one file, say in technically this is some developer change. Say I am going to config 1.xml, right? So go here. This is just for testing. See, we are creating some test file, but technically there is a development change. So the moment developer, I'm the developer. If I commit something, the moment you committed, wait, immediately you go to your Jenkins console, wait for it. If you want, you can refresh the page, wait for it. Sometimes the first trigger will take some time, reload, but there is a 3 build only. The 4th build should happen automatically. I should not touch the build now button. Wait for some more time. Okay, I'm going to create one more file, say config 2.xml, say this is just for testing, commit it. See here, we haven't done anything. We have just touched the source code, the application code repository, but the Jenkins is somewhere. So this is the simple logic. I have a code here. This is the SCM, GitHub or Bitbucket or somewhere, right? This is my Jenkins, right? Jenkins, right? So this is my Tomcat. So this is in one place, this is on one place, this is in one place. So once I enabled Paul SCM, right? So he took the responsibility. Hey, I am going to check. Have you changed something? Hey, have you changed something? Hey, have you changed something? Yes, I found you have some change. Take it, compile it, build it, create the war file automatically. See, first to change and now second change. So automatically getting deployed. Now, once you configured all this properly, you go back and take the rest. The DevOps pipeline will take care of everything, but we are seeing very small. But you think about larger picture. You can add multiple tests, you can add monitoring, you can add alert. One by one we will see it. But the logic is this: DevOps automation pipeline will always work like this. But for that, you need to configure. First, you list down what I need, where my source code, what my functionality is going to be, and what application server I'm going to deploy. Everything has to happen like this. So next session, we are going to continue with Artifactory integration. Stay tuned. Thanks for everyone.